I've been studying sustainability issues since the 1990s, and I see a major impact on converging technologies on the general achievement of sustainability. I'm also interested in focusing technologies on low-income homes in the United States, specifically homes that have elderly and children. So if you can imagine a home where it's more energy efficient, it's more water efficient, possibly the yard is designed to grow food and pharmaceuticals. There may be as Dave Rajewski showed in his presentation, a 3D printer in the house or in the community that can produce utensils or fabrics. The goal would be to reduce the expenses of a low-income home, which may be on a fixed income, since it seems that we're not going to be able to increase their fixed income. Maybe we can work on ways to decrease their costs and also increase their quality of life. The Department of Energy has a program they're running. It's called Sustainable Energy Resources for Consumers, and they're experimenting with implementing renewable technologies and advanced energy efficient technologies in low-income homes. Several of the local weatherization agencies around the country are installing rooftop PV. It may not be economically viable today, but we are seeing that there's a lot of enthusiasm in the communities for the technology. And if it's a good system, it reduces the energy expenditures for the house, especially if the home uses electricity for heating. Then there's another technology called solar heat panels. And so in Vermont, instead of producing electricity, the solar panel produces thermal heat. And so a combination of PV on the roof and a solar panel on the side, solar heating panel on the side, can just about eliminate the energy costs for that low-income household. And so that's being close. That's close for being able to do. And like I said, there's a lot of enthusiasm at the local level among these community action agencies for this technology. And I think that if the prices came down a bit more, they would be able to find the money with some help from DOE to install these in a large number of homes across the country. Well, pie in the sky would be, let's say that in addition to a 3D printer, let's say you had a technology called a nano Legos. And like a macro Lego, you could take these Legos and produce a tabletop. You could produce, instead of having drywall in your house, you could use a wall made of these Legos. And let's say that you're done with the wall, you ship it to your little community Lego reuse center. They take the Legos apart and create something else. It could be a chair, it could be pieces for a vehicle or whatever. And if you're able to reuse these materials within the community, then you don't have to generate the income to import the materials, and then in which case you need to find some business to generate some export dollars. So that would be kind of a pie in the sky kind of technology. Another one would be to use, apparently some scientists have genetically engineered silkworms to produce spider silk. And so you can have a local silkworm farm producing spider silk, and you can use that materials to produce handbags and fabrics and things like that. Well, first you need to have a range of designs imagined. Some designs could focus on food, some designs would focus on energy, but all the designs need to have some integrative component so that the components have a synergistic benefit, as opposed to, so the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. When you have the designs, then you need some kind of funding to go and build these things and then test them out. So, there have been some programs where people, support for zero energy homes, for example, and the designs of those homes have been displayed on the mall. Why don't we take that further, and instead of just a zero energy home, let's focus on this larger integrated sustainable home where the home is actually producing pharmaceuticals and conserving water and so on. A fair number of technologists are focusing their effort on developing countries and the low-income communities in developing countries. I heard this morning that some nonprofits are able to install a rooftop PV on a small little hut in a developing country for $100, and it'll be enough to power their, charge up their cell phone, power a couple of lights, and maybe their computer, and they're fine with that. So that's $100. Media Lab founder Nicholas Negroponte is working on the $100 computer. And so it almost seems like some of those solutions can be brought back to the United States, and so I'd be interested in doing a survey to see what's being implemented that we can bring back. And so, and there's people are also talking about, well, if you have a billion low-income people that need water, and if you find a low-cost solution, you can still make money because you have such a large market. And there's, what poverty rate in the United States is, 10–15%. So I think the market would be there for those kinds of solutions, and not just for the high end. In some respect, there's this race between solving our problems and our inability to solve our problems because of institutional issues and the promise of technology. I wish technology didn't have, in my mind, such an importance to help solve our problems, but it does seem as though that's one avenue to get through our problems. And we did a survey of people a couple years ago, who, looking at politicians and educators and technologists and scientists, who amongst those group are we really going to rely on to help solve our problems? And the overwhelming majority of people said we need to rely on scientists and technologists because we can't rely on our politicians and our political processes to come to solutions to help deal with these issues. So converging technology is essential to that. There's a lot more than just nano, bio, and information technologies, but appropriate use of technology, imagining new combinations of technologies and systems for the home and the community and industrial ecosystem, I think is key to getting through climate change and energy, peak energy and peak coal and all of these issues that we're dealing with.